Hi, I'm Deborah Trapin, and I am so fired up to be sharing time with you today. As you likely have already heard, I am an international keynote speaker, a published author, podcaster, amongst many other things, including a lioness leader over at the Woman Up movement, which is where I inspire women to step up and into leadership and executive ownership at the brokerage level. Now, I started real estate in 2002, and since then I've sold real estate. I have recruited agents, retained agents, trained agents, mentored agents, all the things. Anything that has to do with the experience of an agent has been underneath my organization in one way or another. And one of the things I saw far too often was when a new agent would come in, they would be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and think, I love people, I love houses, and this is going to be the best job ever. However, they forgot a couple things. And one, that we can't be everything to everyone. When we walk down that path of being everything to everyone, we get exhausted, our marketing becomes confusing, and ultimately we fail in our businesses. And so, I want to help you through this process because as a business owner, you get to choose who you work with. Isn't that exciting? And when you are intentional about your choices, you are blessed to jump out of bed, to bound out of bed every day, so excited to partner with and do business with people you love and who love you back. Doesn't that sound amazing? So my mission today is to show you a fresh way to define your specific niche or a well-defined segment of a larger market so that you, the business owner, notice you're hearing that again, know that you know who you want to serve, what problems your ideal client is facing, how you're going to solve that, and ultimately how you want them to feel working with you. Now, as a bonus, there are some additional ways that we're going to be able to use what I call your niche statement in your business. We'll get to those a little bit later. I want you to be so equipped so that you can ditch the senseless hustle of being everything to everyone and truly embrace who your ideal client is. So let's get going on crafting your niche. Now, the process that we're about to walk through starts with something I call your core four. The first three elements really help you define your fourth, which is your niche, and ultimately build that prosperous life and business that will fire you up. So let's jump in to the first element. Core values, personal core values. Have you defined yours? In my book, Fire Up, Taking Your Life and Business to 11, I have an entire chapter devoted to defining your core values, to supporting them, refining them, and revisiting them throughout your career and your life. So I want you to take some time, either pull out your list of core values or go through an exercise to go through the process. If you need one, reach out. I can definitely get it in your hands. The beauty of values is they create clarity in so many ways, in so many decisions that you made. And they also help in attracting the ideal clients who share those values, or at the very least, honor your values. I truly believe that they're an essential element in building a strong personal and business brand for yourself, as well as in long-term success. So if you haven't gone through this process yet, shake off the shame and do the work. Once you have your values defined, then we're going to focus on your soul tank. That's the second element of the core four, and it's to get in touch with what you're truly passionate about. What activities fire you up and fill your soul tank? You're thinking, what's a soul tank? Don't worry, I made the word up. When I was writing the book, I was trying to figure out a term or a way to help us see this space inside us that fills up with joy and energy when we spend time with people we love, doing the things we love, serving communities we love, and thus the soul tank. So I want you to take some time to think about what makes you smile, relax, laugh, sing, play, shout, dance with intensity and joy. Okay, I want you to think about those things. And I want you to write out a list of at least 5 things that you love to do for fun. Now, ideally, you start this list with things that are free. I don't want money to get in the way of you filling your soul tank, because truly, when you have a full soul tank, when you pay attention to your personal needs, self-care, it helps you serve others with a passionate, joyful soul. It also helps you create unique divine experiences for your clients. So I want you to flip any potential negative, self-limiting thoughts that are around self-care as it's selfish to flipping that into it's selfless. It's actually a very strategic part of your business plan to make sure that your soul tank is nice and full and ideally overflowing, so that when your clients call, you're not screaming "what" into the phone, you're screaming "how can I help you" in the most sing-song voice you've got. Okay, now that you've got your values and your soul tank full, I want you to start thinking about your purpose. I want you to write down your purpose if you know it. If you don't, this third element might feel a little zen woo-woo-ish, but don't worry, it's not. It's something you do so effortlessly and naturally, you probably overlook it and maybe have for many years. It is something that inspires you to learn and grow in this particular area. It's something that people come to you for quite often, if not on a daily basis. My personal purpose statement is I fire people up. I believe we can say it in 11 words or less. Yours might be I feed people. I make people laugh. I solve problems. I teach. These beautiful, simple, short sentences really do help you see your purpose. As servant-hearted leaders, when we can understand our purpose and we can write it out and we can see opportunities to fulfill that purpose, it makes those days when we're getting no after no after no more bearable. We can go out there and serve others with our purpose. Again, I mentioned earlier, mine is I fire people up. So on those days where I'm feeling a little low, a little empty, and even my soul tank being full isn't helping, I can go onto social and I can see people who are sad, who need a little bit of a boost, and I can fire them up. Serving others when we're feeling that in that space, in particular infusing our purpose into it, takes living to the next level. Okay, so now that you have your values defined, your soul tank is full, and your purpose is uncovered, those help you define that fourth area, your niche statement. So as we define your niche statement, I have 4 different bubbles, 4 different blanks that we're going to fill in. The first one is the answer to the question of who is my ideal client? Now, defining your ideal client can feel a little overwhelming. Let me start by saying it's your ideal, not your only. And ideally, we want your ideal client to be at least 80% of the clients you're doing business with, those people you love and who love you back, the people you enjoy spending time with. So you might identify them through a couple of different areas. If you create their avatar, you might think, what is their income level? What is their age? Do you want to focus on serving single women? Do you want to focus on married couples? What is that target for you? Start writing down those answers inside your journal and things will start to float up. It will start to show itself who you want that ideal client to be. Also, I talk about industries. What industries do you know? Now, coming into real estate, you're likely coming from another career. It might not be a corporate career, but you've created connections with others in some way, shape, or form. So who are those people? Start writing out the past industries that you've worked in, the places you've served, and take a look at your soul tank list. Because if you love horses, you might be interested in working with people who want to purchase equestrian properties. If you love learning about and sipping wine, you might want to focus on wine country properties. Maybe if you love to travel, you want to help other people create a portfolio of vacation properties. Now, if you already know right off the bat as a new agent that you want to focus on selling condos or luxury property or waterfront homes, write that down now too, because if you know it, it's important to get it on paper. Now, the first bubble is that ideal client. So now that you've kind of rustled around things in your head, I have two more questions to ask you. One is, who are the people in your life that you have done business with, that you have played with, that you have served with, that you have absolutely loved every moment together? I want you to write down that list of people. Try and get to at least 5 people. And then I want you to write down next to them a few words that explain why you cherish your time together. So again, who are those 5 people or more that you have done business with, that you've played with, that you've served with, who truly make your soul sing? All right, once you have that list, I want you to flip it upside down, and I want you to write down the list of people who, well, let's just be real. They're the energy and vision vampires. When you spend time with them, your energy is depleted. So I want you to write down those people's names, and I want you to write down a few words that express why you believe they suck the living life out of you. Okay? What you're likely going to see is those first 3 elements, your values, your passions, your soul tank fuel, or your purpose, are being honored and infused with the first list, and are incredibly out of alignment with the second list. So if you know your ideal client and you want your ideal client to be part of that first list, defining it is important. That list also gives you focus on the first group of people you are going to reach out to as a new agent, because you want to attract more of them. So let me take you through a couple of examples of types of clients, types of real estate buyers that would fit into this process. Are you ready? So the first is first-time home buyers. This is a great category for us to all cover. This is a lot of people getting into real estate right now are first-time home buyers. We have a whole new amazing generation of first-time home buyers coming in. So that might be a target and an ideal client category for you if you value future generations, if you love coaching or mentoring, if your purpose on this planet is to teach or encourage others, if you value patience and connection. Okay. If you value things like wealth and equality and aesthetics, or your soul tank items include things like golf, yachting, travel, food and wine, luxury buyers or waterfront homes might be where you want to have your focus. If you have a value of efficiency or mastering of time, if you prefer people who have a very clear idea of what they want and their vision is set, then you might actually look at investing clients. So if this will start to help you paint that picture of who your ideal client is and what that segment, what type of buyer those people are going to be, because that will set you up for the second part of your niche step in. So that second part of that formula is, what is their biggest problem? Now, first-time home buyers, that's our example for today. They don't know what they don't know. They are inundated with information on the internet. So you can become a resource for them. You can become a filter for them, that they've got so many questions. How does working with you work? Does it cost them money? When do they get keys? What should they expect during the process? You can answer all of those questions for them. So if you know that's your problem that you're trying to solve, then how do you solve it? What is your solution? That's the third part of the formula to create your niche statement. So the solution you provide needs to be one that answers that problem. So if we continue on with the first-time homebuyer example, you know that they don't know what they don't know. So you want to educate them, right? Now there's a couple ways you can educate first-time homebuyers. One is sit down at your computer, write down all the questions that a first-time homebuyer could have, turn on your camera and videotape yourself, make it about an hour, answer all of those questions on camera, and then either if you've got the skills, go for it, or hire someone who knows how to do some video editing and get those videos out in the world. Get a YouTube channel, post on Vimeo if you prefer that, turn them into Instagram or Facebook stories, even act them out over on TikTok. If that's your jam, and if that's where your ideal clients are. So you can create a beautiful video series, or you could consider home buyer summits. Now you can do those virtually or in person when we're able to do that, and partner with your referral network to host 6+ events a year. You can plan them out throughout the year, and bringing those people, your mortgage partner, your escrow, your title partners together, maybe even your home inspector, bringing them into the room and teaching the process to these new buyers, these first-time home buyers, really will help them feel educated. Now, there is another type of quote-unquote first-time home buyer out there, or it's been a long time since I've purchased a home buyer, and that's the boomer who's finally selling their family home, moving on to their next property. And so remember, these people have not purchased a home in some 20 or 30 years. So when they did the transaction the first time, it was with a pen and a paper, and there maybe were a dozen pieces of paper they needed to sign. And now we're doing transactions all virtually. So they're going to need help with education on the technology as well. And so you can solve that problem in addition to what they don't know about the transaction. So think about who that target is, how you can solve their problem. And then ultimately, the fourth element of the niche statement formula is your promise, your sizzle, how you will make your clients feel as you're attracting them in, as they're doing business with you in the transaction, and then after they've worked with you. So before, during, and after, how do you want people to feel? What is your sizzle? Now, as a first-time home buyer, they don't know what they don't know. So you want them to feel educated. You also might want them to feel empowered during the decision process. So if you want them to feel educated and empowered, this helps you, again, in attracting them. If we put all of these elements of our niche statement formula together, that creates a full sentence. So let's start with the first, bring the second in, the third, and the fourth. I love to serve first-time homebuyers who are overwhelmed by all of the information coming their way. I host quarterly business summits that teach buyers the process and have created a collection of 2-minute videos that I host that share the entire buying process. So my clients feel educated and empowered for the real estate process ahead. Isn't that exciting? That now is your niche statement. I did tease to this earlier. This statement, your niche statement, isn't only about defining who you serve. It also guides you in so many other ways. Now, let's start with something simple. When we walk into a room and we're meeting new people, what is the first question, at least here in the United States, that we ask people we've never met before? I can hear you from here. It's, what do you do for a living? Or what do you do? Now, instead of answering that with the traditional, I sell real estate, I want to encourage you to use your niche statement. So when someone says, hi, Deborah, what do you do for a living? I might say, I love to serve first-time homebuyers who are overwhelmed by all of the information coming their way. I host quarterly buyer summits and have created a collection of 2-minute videos to share the entire buying process so they feel educated and empowered for the real estate process ahead. Now, that is so much more inspiring and interesting than I sell real estate. And it also helps others understand who they should refer you to. Now, if you want to take that to an 11, as I like to say, instead of starting your conversations with new connections with the question, what do you do? Or what do you do for a living? AKA, how do you make money? I would love for you to embrace the Italian way and ask a different question. Now, when my husband and I traveled through Italy, one of the most fond memories that I have, that I experienced over and over and over and over again there, was they ask this question instead. What do you do for fun? What do you love to do, Deborah? What passion projects are you working on? This is an epic way to start a conversation. And the bonus, it also helps you uncover potential new clients who share things in common with you that fill your soul tanks together. That is an ultimate outcome from asking this question. Now, you can also use it when you're setting your goals for how many connections you want to make each week. In real estate, a lot of the metrics that we track are about how many times we're reaching out and connecting with people. So you might have a connection number of, you want to meet 10 past clients, past connections from your previous career. You want to meet 10 new people, and you want to serve in your community so that you meet other business owners with whom you can do referral business. So now that you know who your ideal client is, now that you have that niche statement, now that you know who you want to attract, you can say yes to the networking opportunities where your ideal connections will be, where your past clients or connections will be who know your ideal clients, and you'll choose serving opportunities where business owners in your community who also serve that same ideal client, where they will be serving as well. So let's use luxury for a second. If you want to focus on luxury clients, then you might create opportunities to say yes to networking opportunities where those people will be as well. Other business owners who serve that ideal client will be as well. It might be a luxury car show. It might be an event at the yacht club. It might be sponsoring an event at a golf course. You get the idea. When you have an idea of who you want to attract, who your ideal client is, all of the decisions that you make that lead up to a yes can be filtered through that statement. So before you say yes, ask yourself, does this event align with my core four? Does this event truly have the capability and the opportunity to spend time with people who I want to do business with, who I want to serve, who I want to share time with? And you can check them out on social media. You can see who else is going to attend the event. Do a little research before you say yes, because the beauty of this process is it will allow you to create more margin for what matters to you. If you want more time with your family, then you can say no to those events where those people will not be. So really, truly infuse that niche statement in every yes or no when it comes to those events. I also want to encourage you to take a look at how you're showing up so that when you're attracting your ideal clients with things like the internet and social media, that they actually are seeing the authentic you. So first and foremost, update your profile photo. If you can include things that represent your values, the things that fill your soul tank or your purpose, even better. So make sure you look like you look in your profile photo, and if you can add a bonus in to add in your core four elements, that would be amazing. Now, when you bring all of these things together, you are turning yourself into a magnet, a moxylicious magnet, as I like to say. So let's review all of the areas that we talked about today. The first is get those first three of your core four defined. Define your values, fill your soul tank, write that list so that that soul tank is nice and full, and uncover your purpose. Write out your purpose statement. Then I want you to formulate your niche statement. I want you to walk through each one of those questions. Who is my ideal client? What is their biggest problem? How do I solve it? And what is my sizzle? How do I want people to feel before, during, and after we've connected? Then I want you to practice that response. I want you to practice that statement as a response to what do you do for a living? I also want you to think about starting the conversation a little bit differently with that, what do you do for fun? Then infuse your niche into things like your goals for connecting, where you're networking, and of course, choosing your events wisely at that point becomes so incredibly easy. Then ultimately, be you in all that you do. Be authentically you. Show up so that everything you do in embracing and infusing these steps into your business, every step you take, whether it's a click on the internet or a walk into a coffee shop to meet someone, your message, your niche statement is shining through and becoming a true magnet to attract ideal clients to you and help you, that this statement actually will truly help you build a business and support a life that truly fires you up. Now, it was my heart's desire for you to see how you can truly be intentional about building your niche statement and supporting it with all of these other areas so that every day you're able to bound out of bed and serve people you love and who love you. If you've got questions along the way, you know where to find me. I look forward to connecting with you in the future, in the Facebook group maybe. Until then, take good care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.